When Modern Horizons came out, a lot of us thought it would bring balance to the Force. Strategies that were previously considered non-viable would finally have their moment under the sun after living in the shadows for years. Who would have thought that an 8/8 Trampler that you could play as early as turn 2 would be better than a bunch of cute bears and 5-mana ninjas, and Modern would remain the same degenerate graveyard-based format. Only worse. Evil Mr. Howards literally broke Modern, and during its brief but impactful run in the format, it took not 1 but 2 cards with him to the ban list. Rest in peace, Bridge from Below and Faithless Looting. You died for the sins of another card. Months later, Pioneer was born, and a lot of people were worried about Modern. Is Wizards of the Coast implementing soft rotation with things like Modern Horizons? Is Pioneer replacing Modern as the premier non-rotating format? Is the playtest team for Modern at R&D into some funny brownies and mushrooms? While I might not have the answers for that, I do know that Modern is, and has been for a long time now, an essential part of Magic the Gathering. So today, we celebrate its rich history by presenting to you 25 fun facts about Modern within the context of what many consider to be the highest level of competition, the Pro Tour, or the Mythic Championship, or whatever they call it now. Let us begin. Only 8 Pro Tours where the format being played was Modern have been celebrated so far. Philadelphia 2011, Return to Ravnica Seattle 2012, Born of the Gods Valencia 2014, Fate Reforged Washington 2015, Oath of the Gatewatch Atlanta 2016, Rivals of Ixalan Bilbao 2018, Mythic Championship No. 2 London 2019, and Mythic Championship No. 4 Barcelona 2019. The 25th anniversary Pro Tour celebrated in Minneapolis was Team Trios constructed. One team member played Standard, another one Modern, and the other one Legacy. The event was won by the team of Alan Wu, Ben Hall, and Gregory Orange. Ben Hall was the Modern representative and he played Hollow 1. All the players who have won Modern Pro Tours or Mythic Championships are, in chronological order, Samuel Strati, Splinter Twin, Stanislav Sivka, Sunny Side Up, Sean McLaren, Jeskai Control, Antonio del Moral León, Twin Exarch, Yachen Tao, Eldrazi Aggro, Luis Salvato, Lantern Control, Eli Loveman, Humans, and Thoralf Severin, Ursatron. The first ever Modern Pro Tour was Philadelphia 2011, and Splinter Twin was the winning deck. So just like the Green Bay Packers won the first ever Super Bowl and Real Madrid won the first ever European Cup, Splinter Twin was the first Modern deck to reach eternal glory at the maximum Magic the Gathering competition. When someone thinks of Modern, a few decks that have been in the format since the very beginning come to mind. Jund, Affinity, Tron, Burn. Out of all of them, Tron is the only one that has taken the gold home, having to wait until the latest Modern Mythic Championship for that to happen. Hey, better late than never. Jund and Affinity, however, have come very close to being champions. Jund lost the finals against Sunny Side Up at Return to Ravnica Seattle 2012. Affinity lost to Humans at the second Mythic Championship London 2019. Hardened Scales, the younger, stronger cousin of Affinity, lost the finals to Tron at the Mythic Championship No. 4. Remember when a lot of people wanted Death Shadow banned in Modern? What a time to be alive, huh? Well, the Shadow archetype has only managed one top 8 at Modern Pro Tours, and it was on the Rivals of Ixalan Pro Tour from 2018. Shadow didn't win though, and the version of the archetype that managed this top 8 was actually Traverse Shadow and not the Grixis build we commonly associate Shadow decks with. Very much like Death's Shadow, Sunny Side Up, better known as X, only reached the top 8 at a Pro Tour once, Return to Ravnica, Seattle 2012. Unlike Death's Shadow, the X archetype actually won the event after reaching the top 8. The most played archetypes at the top 8 in modern Pro Tours have been Splinter Twin and Eldrazi, with 7 appearances each. Affinity has the second most with 6, or you could also say it has 7 if you count Hardened Scales. Vern, one of the oldest, most well-known archetypes of the format, has the ultra-noteworthy quantity of only 2 appearances at a top 8 throughout the complete history of the 8 modern Pro Tours. Both of these appearances happened during Fate Reforge, Washington 2015. So if you want to feel like you are winning, but then never actually win, this is the archetype for you. The deck with the most appearances at a single top 8 in a single Pro Tour is Eldrazi Aggro. This happened at Oath of the Gatewatch Atlanta 2016. If you have no idea what people are talking about when they mention the Eldrazi Winter, this might clarify that for you. On that Pro Tour, 6 out of the 8 decks at the top 8 were Eldrazi Aggro decks. Legend says, Eye of Ugin is one hell of a draw, one hell of a land. Li Shi-Tian is the player with the most modern Pro Tour top 8 appearances. He has 3, and the decks he played in each of those occasions were Scapeshift at Return to Ravnica, Seattle 2012, Blue Moon at Born of the Gods, Valencia 2014, and Boros Born at Fate Reforge, Washington 2015. Unfortunately, he didn't win any of those events. Jesse Hampton, Jacob Wilson, and Patrick Dickman are the only other players besides Li Shi-Tian who have more than 1 appearance at a top 8 in a modern Pro Tour event. They all have 2. Jesse Hampton at Philadelphia 2011 playing Bridgepost, and at Fate Reforge Washington 2015 playing Absan. Jacob Wilson at Born of the Gods Valencia 2014 playing Melira Pod, and at Fate Reforge Washington 2015 also playing Absan. Patrick Dickman managed his top 8s at Born of the Gods Valencia 2014 playing Twin, and at Oath of the Gatewatch Atlanta 2016 playing Affinity. Affinity at the fucking Eldrazi Pro Tour. What a champion! Yuya Watanabe was also very close to scoring more than 1 modern Pro Tour top 8. Years ago, he took Jonth to a second place finish at Return to Ravnica, Seattle 2012. And then, well, we all know what happened at the Mythic Championship number 2 in London. So let's move on. The card with the most appearances at top 8s throughout all 8 modern Pro Tours between both main decks and sideboards is Lightning Bolt. 93 copies of Lightning Bolt have reached the top 8 to be precise. Splinter Twin and not Burn was the deck where our favorite burn spell found the most success. The fetch land with the most appearances at top 8 in modern Pro Tours is Scalding Tarn. Exactly 81 copies have reached the top 8. Maybe that's why Scalding Tarn is a bit expensive. Or maybe it's because Wizards won't reprint fetches in any meaningful way. The 2 most dominant Planeswalkers in the history of modern Pro Tours are Karn Liberated with 16 appearances at top 8s and Liliana of the Veil with 24 appearances. Out of the 2, Karn is the one who knows what being a champion is like. The only other Planeswalker besides Karn Liberated who has had the distinction of actually winning a modern Pro Tour is Ajani Vengeant, since he was part of the main deck from the Jeskai control list that won Born of the Gods Valencia 2014. Tesseret Agent of Bolas was part of the sideboard of the Lantern control deck that won Rivals of Ixalan 2018. Likewise, Jace Architect of Thought was part of the sideboard of the Twin Exarch deck that won Fate Reforge 2015. Tarmogoyf is the creature with the most top 8 appearances at modern Pro Tours. 40 copies have reached the final instances of the prestigious tournament. However, second place Noble Hierarch with 38 copies at top 8s is the one who knows what being a champion is like, since she was part of the Humans deck that won the Mythic Championship number 2. The United States of America is the country with the most modern Pro Tour victories. Yachen Tao won Oath of the Gatewatch 2016, playing, well, Eldrazi of course, and Eli Loveman won Mythic Championship number 2, playing humans. This member has quite a unique distinction. It was part of the list that won the first ever Modern Pro Tour, and it was also part of the list that got the crown at the Mythic Championship number 4, which is the last Modern Mythic Championship so far. On both occasions, this member occupied 2 slots in the sideboards of the winning decks, which, as we already know, were Splinter Twin and Ursa Tron. The cheapest deck ever to be crowned as champion was Sunny Side Up, or as almost everyone likes to call it, X. It won Return to Ravnica 2012, and nowadays it would cost about $600 to build this deck. The most expensive deck to ever win a Modern Pro Tour was Twin Exarch at Fate Reforge 2015. In today's market, it would cost about $1,400 to build the exact same list. While Splinter Twin is the only archetype ever to win the Modern Pro Tour more than once, no deck or archetype has ever been runner-up twice. All second places in chronological order are Countercat, Jund, Melira Poth, Bloom Titan, Eldrazi Aggro, who by the way lost to Eldrazi Aggro after beating a bunch of Eldrazi Aggros, Mardu Pyromancer, Affinity, and Hardened Scales. You could maybe say that Affinity and Hardened Scales are kinda the same archetype, so if we use that assumption, then the Affinity archetype would be the only deck that has been runner-up at 2 points in time in Modern Pro Tour history. And to wrap up this list, the color with the most appearances in winning deck lists at Modern Pro Tours is blue. Did you really expect anything else? Blue has been part of the color identity in 7 out of 8 decks that have won a Modern Pro Tour. The only deck that has done this without blue in its team is Mono Green Tron. The color with the least appearances is black, which has 2, one as part of Lantern Control and the other as part of Humans. And there you have it, 25 fun facts about Modern Pro Tours or Mythic Championships. If you like this video and you would like to see more content like this, please leave your thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and share our videos with other Slivers across the multiverse. Do you like Modern? Do you think there should be a lot more big tournaments where Modern is the format of choice? Don't forget to leave a comment below. Take care, and we'll gather again on the next video.